Hello, class of 2026. I'm Mrs. Kenny, one of the counselors at Heartland High School, and in this video, we'll go over everything you need to know as you prepare to schedule for ninth grade. I'll also cover some of the hot topics that incoming ninth graders like to know about the high school. I'll start by introducing our administrative team. Our principal is Mrs. Gregory, and then we have 3 assistant principals who split the alphabet, and then Mr. Wheeler is the athletic director. We have 4 counselors who work with students based on their alphabet. We work on social emotional support, academic support, we track your progress toward graduation, and we also help you with your post-secondary plans for life after high school. So you can see here on the screen who your counselor will be at the high school based on your last name. Those of you last names A through DQ have Mrs. Lusk, DR through KT, Mrs. Osterhout, KU through RN, Mrs. Kenny, that's me, and then Mrs. MP has the students RO through Z. Mrs. Shinjek is the District Student Assistance Program Coordinator. She spends a lot of time at the high school coordinating groups and supporting students in various ways. All right, one of the major differences about life at Heartland High School is that you are now working toward your high school diploma, which means there are certain classes that you have to take, certain classes that you have to pass. These classes are earning you credit, and once you satisfy the credits that you need, that's how you earn your high school diploma. So I'll go over what the graduation requirements are in like a broad sense right here, and we'll talk more about the nitty-gritty as we get into course selections. So you'll do 4 years each of math and English, 3 years each at least of science and social studies. You may choose to do more if that's something that you enjoy. You'll do 2 years of the same world language. You might have started that this year, and you might not have. You'll do half a credit each of personal fitness and health. We'll talk about the various ways to earn PE credit in a little bit. And then 1 credit of visual performing applied arts. Those are the graduation requirements that you have to satisfy throughout high school. The rest of your schedule is filled out with elective classes. So these are the classes that you get to take to do like different career exploration, or just to have something in your day that you enjoy doing and that helps you blow off some steam and experience some new things while you're in high school. You might try something that you have never tried before. So you'll see here we have a wide variety of class departments that offer classes for electives, from applied technology, music, to PE. Lots of options. I mentioned that you need 1 credit of visual performing applied arts in order to graduate. Now, this isn't something that you should stress about or panic about making sure that you earn your VPA credit. You can see here there's a long list of classes that satisfy VPA. Oftentimes, students satisfy their VPA without having gone out of their way to make sure that they pick a class that meets that criteria. So what I'm saying is, if you're in band and you sign up for band next year, like bam, your VPA is already done. Or you might be really into business and there's quite a few business classes on here that count it. So this isn't something that, like with my students, I worry about if they haven't satisfied it until they're like in 11th grade going into 12th. If they haven't happened to take any of these classes yet, then I'll make sure that they are intentional in selecting one. But these are the classes that satisfy VPA credit. Okay, I'm going to talk next about the scheduling process. This part is really important that you pay attention, that you hear me, because this is the first time you'll be doing it, and we want to make sure that you do it well. And it's just easier if you get the information in this video, since you don't have direct access to the high school counselors. So first and foremost, I'm going to show you how to access the high school curriculum guide, where you can find things like the outline of the graduation requirements that I like broadly went over. You can also find course descriptions in the curriculum guide, as well as the prerequisites for certain classes. So the curriculum guide is a huge resource for you, and I'm going to take you there and show you how to kind of utilize that. Prerequisites might be a new term that you haven't heard before. So when you're looking at your blue course sheet, you might find on the back of the sheet that there's a class you're interested in taking that has a P next to it. P means that to take that class, there's a prerequisite, which means there's a class that you have to have already taken in order to take it. So make sure that if you see the P, that you're using the curriculum guide to find out what the prerequisite is. We'll talk about alternates on your course sheet. It's so important that you understand that all the classes you write on your course sheets are fair game, and so you can't just willy-nilly fill out your alternate section. When you fill out your blue sheet, please do so clearly so that we can read your handwriting in case we need to make any adjustments. And we'll talk about the teacher signature process and entering your courses into Student Connect. All right, this is what you're looking at. This is your blue 9th grade course selection sheet. We're going to go over how to fill this out from top to bottom, and then we'll move on from there. So this box on the left-hand side of your sheet, from English down to electives, this is the 7 credits that you're going to end up kind of in your perfect world that you would get to take in your 9th grade year. So we'll start at the top here. You're going to select either English 9 A and B or Honors English 9. So first, let me explain what the A and the B mean for English 9. You'll see that for most of the core classes that you have to choose from. So A means semester 1 and B means semester 2. So between English 9A, which is half a credit, semester 1, and English 9B, half a credit, second semester, you've got your 1 credit of English 9. That's how all the A and the B classes work. They're scheduled that way so that you might have English 9 first hour, first semester, and then English 9 might be 5th hour, second semester. And that is to help make room for the electives that you've selected. It helps your schedule be a little bit more flexible. And so the hours might change for these classes that are not built as year-long classes. Anyways, you're going to select between either regular English 9 or Honors English 9. You're going to make that selection with the help of your current English teacher. And so they'll sign off in the box corresponding with where you guys feel is the best placement for you. And then we recommend that you circle the credit value that goes along with this. It's going to be 1 credit regardless of what you select, but if you circle as you go, it helps with the math down here at the bottom. Okay. And like I said, you're going to do 4 years of English. So you'll start with English 9, you'll take English in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade as well. Social studies is the next area. You're going to go ahead and circle 0.5.5. All 9th graders take Global Studies A and Global Studies B. So you don't need to see a signature for this because you'll automatically take that course. For science, you'll take 1 credit worth of science in 9th grade. That will be Biology A and Biology B. Those are the 2 subject areas where you do 3 credits for graduation. Social studies, it's global studies, and then American history or AP US history in 10th grade. And then in 11th grade, you'll do econ for a semester and government for a semester. There are some nitty-gritty things I won't get into about your 11th grade social studies just yet, though. For science, it's biology. You'll do earth science in 10th grade, and then chemistry or physics is that 3rd requirement. Again, some of you might choose to take a whole lot more social studies or a whole lot more science if those classes interest you, but those are the requirements. All right, the general sequence for math is Algebra 1 and then Geometry, and then Algebra 2, and then some senior math class. There's a lot of options for that 12th grade year. So some of you might be in Algebra 1 right now, in which case you'll be meeting with your Algebra 1 teacher to make a decision about whether you're going to be maybe repeating Algebra 1 so that you can strengthen those skills, or going into Geometry or Honors Geometry. So if that's you, your teacher will sign off in the right box. Some of you might be in traditional 8th grade math, in which case you will select Algebra 1A and Algebra 1B. Those of you at the high school for higher level math, you'll work with that teacher on appropriate placement. But regardless, you will have 1 credit of math, okay? The next subject area is world language. You need 2 years of the same language in order to satisfy the graduation requirement. We have American Sign Language, German, French, and Spanish. And again, it's 2 years of the same language. So you can't take ASL 1 and then French 1 and be done. It's got to be the same language. Some of you may have started your language this year, in which case you'll talk with that teacher about placement in the appropriate class for next year, whether that's regular or honors, if that's applicable. So that teacher will sign off here. If you're an 8th grader going into the first year of your language next year, so that would be like Spanish or French or German or ASL 1, Then we ask that you talk with your current English teacher about placement. So some of those languages have honors options for the first year. So ASL doesn't, but French, German, and Spanish do have honors options for the first year. And so your English teacher will be the best person to make a recommendation for honors level world language, because it's your reading and writing and kind of comprehension skills that will come into use in your world language. So if you're looking to take like an honors level language and you haven't started that language yet, then it would be your English teacher who would sign off on this box. If you're moving on from one year of a language to another, then your world language teacher would sign off on this box. Okay, not to complicate things, but some of you may choose not to start your language next year, and that's okay. You might not have room for it. You might not feel like you're ready for it. Those are okay reasons to leave this blank, knowing that you'll start your language probably in 10th grade. All right, that might be a student who's got band and or choir, a student who needs a support class or a study hall, or maybe a math support class specifically. And if that's the case, you just might not have space in your schedule to do your language in 9th grade, and that's okay. All right, so if you leave this box blank, that's an option. All right, so this top section, these are courses that would require a teacher initial or a teacher sign off based on like appropriate placement. The next part of the box won't require any teacher signatures, but it will require some decisions and some research on your end. All right, so the next graduation requirement that most 9th graders get out of the way is PE and health. So I need you to listen to me and hear me right now, because I'm going to talk about PE and I want to make it super clear, because the decision that you put on your course sheet right now can't be changed when you come to school in August. All right, so there are a few ways to satisfy the PE graduation requirement. That is to take the class, PE Intro to Fitness. It's a semester-long class and it satisfies that requirement. Or it can be 3 seasons of any Heartland sport. If you go this route, you won't get PE credit on your transcript, but it'll waive the requirement to take that class. So that is 3 seasons of any level of any Heartland sport. It doesn't have to be the same sport. So you might do freshman soccer, you might do freshman basketball, and then maybe you do track when you're a sophomore or something like that. They can be different sports, different levels, but they have to be Heartland High School sports. Okay, they can't be like the club that you do outside of school or anything like that. The final way to get your PE credit would be band for 3 years. If you go to band camp for 3 years, that satisfies the PE requirement as well. Okay, so it's very important that if you plan to go the sports route or the band route, that you don't circle PE. Because if you circle it today and you put that in the computer and then you come in August and you're like, well, I'm an athlete and I'm going to do 3 seasons of a sport, we don't have the ability or the flexibility to make schedule changes in August. So we're going to say no. If you've been put in that class because you circled it, then you're stuck. So those are the ways to get your PE credit. Again, take the class, do 3 seasons of any Heartland sport at any level, or do 3 years of band with band camp. All right, next up is health. There isn't any other way to get your health credit other than to take the health class. And so we do recommend taking this in 9th grade because you learn a lot of really useful information that's good to learn in that age group. So we recommend circling that 0.5 and health. And then the rest of this is going to be rounded out with classes that you want to take to help you get to 7 credits. So at the high school, you'll have 7 classes every day. And so you'll have English and global studies, biology, your math, and then potentially your language, your PE, your health. So what we need to do is add up what we have so far circled and then take the difference and pick that many more electives to get yourself to 7 credits, okay? The back side of the course sheet is where you'll find course offerings for 9th grade electives. So you'll take note of some of the like prerequisite requirements and audition stuff for these electives, okay? So you'll write classes in the electives box until you get to 7 credits. So don't go over 7 credits over here. This is your perfect 7 credit schedule on the left-hand side. These are the classes that you're going to enter into Student Connect, all right? Once you have those classes selected, you're going to pop over to the right side of the sheet and select 6 alternates. So what that means is, let's say you've written creative writing as one of your electives over here, that's your first choice, but creative writing is conflicting with another class that you signed up for, and so your counselor has to pull your course sheet, look at alternates, and put you in a different class. So we need you to rank order 6 more classes that you would be okay taking. It is very important that you are carefully selecting these 6 classes so that you don't find yourself disappointed if you've been put in one of them. Also make sure that the 6 classes you write in your alternates box are unique, meaning you haven't also written them over here. So if creative writing became a problem over here, writing it as an alternate isn't going to help you. It just means I'm going to have to come to your second choice. So make sure that you're writing 6 different classes over here on your course sheet. If you don't carefully and thoroughly fill out this course sheet, then you might be finding yourself in a situation where your counselor has to select a class or classes for you. We don't know you, and so we're just going to kind of be blindly selecting classes if that's the case. And so it's in your best interest to make sure that you do a really thorough job of filling this out. The notes box you might find handy to just write anything that you might think find helpful. So for example, let's say you plan to do 3 seasons of sports and you don't want to take PE, you might write that in the notes box just to give us a heads up. We don't look at every single course sheet, unless like the computer is having an issue scheduling, we pull your course sheet. So don't write anything on there that is like your counselor has to know this because they might not find it. But let's say we do pull your course sheet because there's an issue and you have something on there that you've noted, we'll see it in that case. All right, the last few things on this sheet are your signature, your parent or guardian signature, and your phone number. We will only call you if it is like school is out. You guys go home after the last day of school. Your counselors are still here working on your schedules for next year. And if we run into some sort of issue that's a pretty major conflict and we need help, that's when we use your phone number. All right, so it's super helpful if you set us up for success there and put your phone number. All right, after you have your course sheet filled out, you're going to enter everything into Student Connect. I'm going to pop out of the presentation for a second, show you the curriculum guide, and show you how to enter classes in Student Connect, and then you will turn your course sheet back into your math teacher no later than February 18th. So if you go to heartlandhighschool.us/counseling, you will find our counseling homepage. And if you scroll down, you'll find our breakdown by alphabet again, the office phone number. And so if you call that number, you'll be directed to the right counselor if you have any questions. And then all of our emails are first and last name at heartlandschools.us. You can always use the staff directory if you're unsure, but it's first and last name at heartlandschools.us. So you can reach out to us directly. All right, on the left-hand side, there's a scheduling option under the menu. And there's a whole section for incoming 9th graders for your class of 2026. So here is where you'll be able to access a lot of the scheduling materials that we've referenced. All right, and some information about different things at the high school. Right here is the handout for instructions for how to schedule your classes. So I'm going to open that up. This first page goes over graduation requirements a little bit more detailed. And then the second page is how to log into Student Connect to enter your course requests. So a couple things to note. It's super important that you hit save and submit after you've entered your classes, or else they won't be there, if you close out before you've hit save. And that you make sure that it equals 7 credits before you exit out of that screen. All right, I'm in the scheduling section of the website now, and right underneath that, you'll see course descriptions and curriculum guide. So that'll be the next place that we take you. From here, you have a few things that you can look at. in big words here, you see the curriculum guide, so I'll take you there in a second. And down below, there are description videos for a lot of classes at the high school. And so these are really cool. I definitely encourage you to peruse these and watch some of the videos. They've been created by our teachers. In some cases, students in the classes have spoken about what they do in there. And so these can be really helpful in having a better understanding of what the class is all about. But I'm going to open up the curriculum guide and show you around that document next. All right, the curriculum guide is a pretty hefty document. It's got a lot of information in it, including graduation requirements, the grading scale, and stuff like that. But if you get a little bit further along, right around page 29 is where it actually starts with course descriptions. You'll see that every department has a grid like this that lists the classes, what grade levels are eligible to take it, what the prerequisites are, and then underneath the grid, you'll find course descriptions. So this is where you can go to read about what am I going to do in Auto 1, and is there a prerequisite? No. And so here's where you can read descriptions for these classes. Every single department is in here in like alpha order, and so you've got art, and next up will be business. All right, so we definitely want you to be using this document, reading about the classes, so that you're not surprised when you get into them if there is something that you didn't expect. All right, I'm going to review the deadlines one more time. So you've got your course sheets now, and you can start filling them out and putting your course requests into Student Connect. If you aren't sure what your Student Connect password is, your teachers have access to that, so they can help you out there. And if you need help, like computer time to get into the computer and enter your course request, definitely see Mrs. McLennan or Mrs. Hanson in the main office, and they can help set you up with that. Special education students will meet with our case coordinators to help with those course selections, and then your course sheets are due to your math teachers by Friday, February 18th. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the high school big picture stuff. So if you do have your course sheet in front of you and you've gotten excited about filling that out, I'll ask that you put that down and then pay attention to the rest of this presentation before you get back into your course sheet filling out. So we like to talk about all the things, all the opportunities at the high school to get involved. We do that because it's an exciting part about high school, these different opportunities to join clubs and do athletics and stuff like that. But it's also, lots of research has shown that a student who is involved and stays busy is a student who performs better academically. Staying busy is good for you. It's going to help you make stronger connections in this building, and it's going to help you do well in school. And so if you visit heartlandeagles.com, you'll see the different sports, but we have lots of clubs, activities, and volunteering opportunities available to students. These are the list of clubs as of right now, so obviously subject to change before next year, but these are different clubs that students have the opportunity to join. We have club time on Fridays during seminar. So that's what we call our club time at the high school, seminar time. On Friday, between first and second hour, we have 20 minutes where clubs meet. And if you're in a club, you'll go to that. If you're not in a club or your club's not meeting, you just stay in first hour for a little bit extra time. So there's quite literally something for everybody. So the first few weeks of school, we let you kind of roam and test the clubs out and see what interests you and what group you feel comfortable in. And then after that, you actually sign up and receive passes to attend these clubs. These are the various sports. So when I talk about doing a Heartland High School sport at any level to waive your PE requirement, this is the list. Again, it's got to be the Heartland team, so it can't be like your travel hockey team. But these are the Heartland teams that count toward that PE requirement. All right, we've got various activities that happen at the high school, assemblies, dances. We've got the play in the fall and the musical in the spring. We do various spirit weeks throughout the year, sporting events. You might not be on a team, but you can go and support your classmates and your friends, see the band perform, stuff like that. And then obviously volunteering opportunities as well. All right, some of the things that I don't want to leave you without telling you about, because I think that they are things that you're curious about. So passing time, you have 6 minutes to get from one class to the next, and that is plenty of time. We know the building can feel really big, but once you lock down like your quickest route from one class to the next, 6 minutes is plenty of time. You can have a locker. The past couple years, they have been optional. Students who've wanted a locker have requested it and gotten it. I'm not sure if everybody will just be assigned a locker next year or if we'll do the same where you have to ask for it if you want it. But all freshman lockers will be near each other for those of you who have them. And then lunch. We have 3 different lunches. So you'll be assigned a lunch. You'll find out on the first day of school which lunch you have. You'll either go to A lunch before 5th hour, B lunch in the middle of 5th hour, or C lunch after 5th hour. And there are a ton of variety options. The cafeteria has a pretty excellent selection. Okay, some dates that we need you to remember. So LINK is like freshman orientation. Okay, so that's when you'll come to the high school. That's when you're going to do things like get your picture taken, get a copy of your schedule. You'll be put in a small group of other 9th graders with a few upperclassmen who are called LINK leaders, and they will be your LINK leaders throughout the school year. So they'll sort of help you get acclimated to the building. LINK leaders are really awesome students, and so those are good go-to people. The date for this will be tentatively August 8th, sometime in that window. Hopefully that doesn't change, but that's when you'll come to the building and go through LINK. The first day of school, again, is tentatively August 17th, but that won't be determined. Either of those dates won't be determined until closer to the end of the school year. All right, talk a little bit about high school and the fact that your grades matter and why do they matter and what's this business you're talking about, credits and GPA and stuff like that. So your classes that you take in high school are going to go on what's called a transcript. And that is a record of your performance here at the high school. Another thing that goes on your transcript is your attendance. And so that's why attendance is important. But it will, all of your classes and the grade that you got will go onto your transcript each semester. So your grades at the end of December and at the end of May, and then each grade earns you GPA points, and GPA is your grade point average. And so that will recalculate every semester. And your GPA can be used for things like college scholarships, college admissions. Your credits are, each class you take is half a credit each semester, and so you're going to be earning credits toward the 26 that you need to graduate. And colleges look at these things. They look at your GPA. They look at the classes that you took to see if you were challenging yourself and if you were taking school seriously. But that challenging yourself thing is really important. They want to be able to see that, like, you stepped it up each year, that maybe you went out of your comfort zone and you took an honors class or an AP class. All of the classes at Heartland High School are considered college prep classes. They're preparing you for the next level, but then we have the opportunity for honors and AP above and beyond that as well. All right, coming up tonight, you're going to have the opportunity for a couple of options for incoming freshman parent night. So this will be a program. The option 2 is the live presentation here at the high school at 6 p.m. in the auditorium. For families who choose to attend that, we ask that they use this QR code to register so that we have a heads up for how many to expect and how many copies to make. The other option would be to watch recordings of the presentation, which will be posted on the website, and this QR code will take you there. We highly encourage that your parent or guardian participate in one of these 2 options so that they can hear the information that you're hearing and so that they can help you get off to a good start with your high school experience, which starts by your course selections. Everything that we covered today will be covered in this video, will be covered for your parents as well. But in addition to that, there are breakout sessions. The breakout sessions are pre-recorded videos that will be posted on the website at this link provided in the incoming freshman section of the website that we were at earlier. There are breakout sessions on the following topics: new students to Heartland, honors and advanced course offerings, skills for high school success, and then there's a PowerPoint slide deck about Heartland High School athletics. All right, that is the scheduling presentation for you guys today. We really look forward to working with you and meeting you and getting to know the class of 2026. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out to your who will be your high school counselor via email. Mrs. McLennan and Mrs. Hanson are good resources too, but if you have specific questions about something, it might be best to reach out to us. Make sure that you fill your course sheet out very carefully, that you make wise decisions, that you get the course request entered into Student Connect and your course sheet turned into your math teacher by February 18th. Without this information, your counselor will be scheduling on your behalf, and you're just kind of going to be stuck with what we pick for you. I want to make one more note about filling out your course sheet and doing it carefully. One of the things we mean by that is that you are picking classes that you want to take. We often see students getting carried away filling out their course sheets and like asking their friends, what are you taking? What are you putting down? And then like erasing their course sheets and writing down what their friends are taking. And that's not helpful. It's not in your best interest to find yourself in a class that you don't want to take, because here's the thing. It's a big building. We have a lot of classes and a lot of sections of different classes. And so that might mean that if you've both signed up for auto, that there are 6 sections of auto and there's a few first semester and there's a few second semester, you're probably not going to have auto together. And so if you wrote auto down because your BFF wrote auto down, you're going to be kind of bummed when you're in auto and your friend's not in there with you. So we need you to be selecting classes that you want to take. All right. Again, please use the website. We've got everything posted on there. We hope to see a lot of you tonight. If your parents are coming out to the presentation, you're welcome to join them. We just ask that you sit with your parents. And we look forward to meeting you. Have a great day.